Robert, if I could just add a complimentary point to David's. We see the opportunity for robotics in space, and collaboration between humans and robots is an important technology step. It does come in the form of vehicles, another example being the X-37B, the Phantom Express, rapid launch capabilities. But we also see a future with automation and robotics in space in areas like space manufacturing. And we see the opportunity for zero-gravity, low-gravity manufacturing as being a viable commercial practice in space at some point. That could either be in low Earth orbit or lunar. And as we're doing on Earth with combinations of humans and robots working in our factories, robotic application to space manufacturing, I think, is another leading-edge technology area. It's an important place for America to lead.
Great. Thank you. Anyone else have a comment in response, in addition? Great. Good. Last question on this panel will go to the Deputy Secretary of Defense, Paul Shanahan. Paul.
Yeah. Hey, good afternoon, or I guess good morning. You know, one of the themes that each of you mentioned in your remarks was stable, consistent funding. And, you know, the question is, as you look across the three different domains, civil, commercial, military, what's the synergy we should try to exploit? How do you think about really leveraging some of those common missions or domains?
Yeah, well, first of all, I think your point of matching up and creating synergy across commercial and defense sectors is very important. It's important to the talent base. It's important to the techniques and processes. And frankly, that combination can help create some stability in funding and programmatic profiles. I think it's also important that from a policy standpoint, if we look at the national budget, not only the defense budget, but all of the elements that fuel innovation, year-to-year stability, and alternatives to the budget cap approach that we have in place today, sequestration. We need an alternative. That's good for the U.S. government. It's good for the economy. It's good for industry, so we can do long-term planning together. Without that long-term view and long-term stability and funding, it's difficult to build a supply chain. It's difficult to make the investments that create long-term space infrastructure. I think that's one of the most important things we can do as a country.
I would add to that, to your point, there is complementary, when you take the national security activities that we do, they do flow over into commercial opportunities and civil opportunities as well. So the money that we're spending, the investments that we're making as a nation on national security or on our civil space programs, it's complementary across, and we can get the full bang for the buck. But to Dennis's point, we have been faced with a very challenging budget environment in the space arena as well as in other areas of our government. And so that is a message to you as a Space Council that we really do need to make sure that we have stable funding, that we have aspirational programs that we're investing in so that we can continue to be a leader in space.
Very good. David, anything? Thank you. Well, if there's no other questions from the panel, we'll allow this very distinguished panel to step away, but I hope everyone in attendance will join me in thanking Marilyn Houston, David Mullenberg, and David Thompson for just outstanding presentations. Thank you very much. As our next panel begins to make their way, I would call everyone on the Space Council's attention to your packets today. There's a recommendation to the President for a new policy on deep space human exploration. It meets the President's vision for America to lead in space again. The recommendation is the National Space Council policy be amended as is transcribed there, that we shall lead in innovative and sustainable program of exploration with commercial and international partners to enable human expansion across the solar system, to bring new knowledge and opportunities, beginning with missions beyond low Earth orbit. The United States will lead and return humans to the moon for long-term exploration, followed by human missions to Mars and other destinations. Unless anyone on the Council has an objection, I would direct the Executive Secretary of the Council to prepare a decision memo to the President with this recommendation for the Council. Hearing none, so moved.